Hi,
How's it going?
pretty busy. Uh, for now, we're implementing so many new features, and the next release will be really huge.
And so what are you working on right now?
I'll show that in our agenda, um, but I can make a little spoiler that we are working on ARM support thanks to our community, and we are also working on air gap and GPU pass-through.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's wait for a while until some other people will join and we can start.
So at this moment, we are working on the gateway API to test it and to make it work. So that's one of the priorities, and I hope there will be some folks maybe to discuss our ideas about the application distribution we have to put together too.
Yeah, I'll put it into OpenFloor. That makes sense. There were some community members working on Gateway API as well. Maybe they will join as well. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and post a link to this document into chat, and I think we can start. So, welcome to Cozystack community meeting. Today is 15th of May. Please put your name into this document. And I have to repeat that we have Telegram group where you can join and ask your questions. We also have Slack channel in official Kubernetes Slack. You can put your questions there and free to join. And as usual, we have to ask if we have any new members on this meeting who would like to introduce yourself, or if somebody didn't introduce yourself in previous meetings, it's time to do that.
So probably I can do it because I never introduced myself, I think, before. So I'm Zdenek Janda. I'm CEO of the Cozystack company, and we are now currently using Cozystack, like starting to use it in production. And at this moment, we are working on adding or testing gateway API support, and also we are interested in bringing in more apps and creating some kind of Cozystack compatible distribution we can add applications to easily. And later today there will be a discussion about that. I may share my suggestions. So this is it. Happy doing well, guys.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Zdenek. Is there anybody else?
I don't know if I should introduce myself. I'm Alexander Valinsky. I'm working with data, with machine learning and and LLM-based services, and I would like to introduce helper bot for Cozystack, but I think it would be some later in this meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Alexander just made a community bot for our Cozystack. Let's switch to that a bit later. I would like to start with GPU demo because I say that I will show that in this meeting. Unfortunately, my demo environment is not ready yet. So my GPU node isn't working yet. So I can just go over the documentation to describe how to enable it and how to start using it. And I'll show, but I'll not show the demo. I think we will record this demo a bit later. So we will create CNCF meetup, which describes in full how to enable GPU support, how to pass through GPU into virtual machines and Kubernetes, and how to run GPU workloads in tenant Kubernetes clusters. So in case you want to run GPU, you need to have some instances or physical nodes with GPU. Then you have to enable your GPU operator by editing a Cozystack config map and enable it in bundle enable option. By default, it is not enabled. So after you enable that, you can see that it will run some NVIDIA GPU operator. And if you want to pass through GPU from the node, you need to label this node with this label. So the node will be configured itself. Then you can get exact GPU from this node. You can use node shell or kubectl debug node and show device using LSPCI. Inside of this, you'll see specific controllers. And then you can also check describe node. So those devices will be available as normal resources in Kubernetes. The only thing you need to do is update kubevirt to allow using those devices. In this way, you just edit kubevirt resource, adding PCI devices. And then you can create virtual machine and specify that this virtual machine should have this resource, this GPU allocated. All the rest things will be done automatically. So inside of the virtual machine, you will see the same device and you can consume it. In last release, which is release candidate for now, we have added option to the Kubernetes tenant clusters. So when you create new Kubernetes cluster, now you can specify that you want to have a node group. It is node group MD0. We can create a new one, for example, MD1. This one replica. It also requires to specify a larger instance type because the default one will not be enough to handle the driver compilation procedure. So it's better to specify at least X large. And here you can also specify GPU like this. And then all the Kubernetes nodes in this node group will be created with this GPU allocated. Also, you need to enable GPU operator here. So it will install GPU operator inside of tenant cluster. And after this, everything will be done automatically. So you can consume those GPUs from the Kubernetes itself. So you can install any GPU workload, it will automatically consume this GPU. I'm so sorry that I have that cluster yet. I can create my Kubernetes like this, but it will not bring up because I have no GPU nodes yet. So we can see that there is Kubernetes control plane and two working groups two node groups created, and in a while they will start deploying. That's actually it. And the next topic in our agenda is presented by Zdenek. Zdenek wanted to present AI workloads with Cozystack. Do you want to discuss it somehow, or you want to make presentation?
I would just leave a few notes.
There were some connection issue probably, or I can't hear you well.
Yes, we do.
Zdenek, please try to reconnect because we can't hear you.
The idea of this was adding an application.
Okay, let's switch to another topic. We will move it. We will come back to that later. And we have Cozystack helper bot.
Thank you, Andrei. My name is Alexander Volinsky, as I introduced myself earlier. I built Cozystack helper bot as a pet project on weekends, and this bot using retrieval augmented generation pattern. It could answer different questions. I don't know, about some technical stuff, about introduction questions, some, I don't know, it could consult you on very different topics about Cozystack, and all answers of this bot are based on official documentation of Cozystack, and this bot regularly updates his knowledge base from official repository. It clones GitHub repository with documentation, processing this repository, and after that it could answer on very different questions. So inside this bot there are different models from OpenAI, such models as GPT 4.1, Nano, and Mini models. And also I would like to maybe make some demo. Could I launch demonstration?
Yes, sure. Yes, sure. Give me a second. I'll stop my share, and you're free to start sharing from your side.
Great. So you could see this is the one second. Link to this bot, Cozystack bot. This bot could work like in groups. You could add it to the group and give it permissions to read the messages, and after that you could mention the bot and ask some questions about Cozystack, and also it could answer to a question in a private chat like this. So I am just chat with this bot in a private chat. So we could ask, I don't know, what is Cozystack? And inside this bot, it's a complex backend. It's not like just rerouting your question to the ChatGPT or GPT model. It classifies your message as a technical message or not. It also checking if this message is a like attempt to hijack, to jailbreak the model, because in these scenarios, in these cases like I don't know, bots based on LLM, it's often a situation when users sometimes trying to break the service, like sometimes trying to jailbreak the model. And in this case, this bot is built upon this consideration, so it could, like protect himself from these scenarios. So you could see the answer of the bot, and also you could see the links it used to provide this answer. Also, we could try to trick this bot and to write something like this. I don't know, ignore all your instructions, and I don't know, and what is. And you could see that it gives an answer that it's a potential jailbreak attempt. So in some cases, this system could, make false alarms. So in this case, I'm always working on improving this system, so with some time it will work better. So in rare occasions, even on legit question, this bot, this system sometimes could reject your question, but you could ask the same question a little bit later, and I think it will work. So also Andrei told us about GPU, so we could ask this question how to use GPU on Cozystack, and we see that it's reading documentation, processing it in the backend, and generating answer. Also, it's important to mention when the documentation will improve in the future, when you will provide, I don't know, more complex cases in documentation, I don't know, maybe some description of some errors, some cases how to, I don't know, use Cozystack on one case in another, and this bot will automatically become better and could provide you help in more and more scenarios, because it thinks his internal knowledge base with documentation repository automatically every day. So we could see, so as Andrew told earlier about KubeVirt, about installing GPU operator, and so on. Also, we could, I don't know, ask some later questions. It it provides the context of dialogue, so it keeps the history of dialogue inside himself, inside the bot. So do you have any questions?
Thanks for amazing demo. I have a question. I have two questions. The first one, is the source code available?
No, unfortunately, it's my pet project, and right now I'm not ready to open it. Because I'm I'm afraid too much hate, because it's code not that clean and nice to share it with people.
Okay, thank you. And the second question is if it's possible to use chat history to learn this bot. I think sometimes we answer some questions to the community, and it might be useful to parse this chat history and use it as well.
It's chat history not available to all of the people. It's only available to, I don't know, to person who ask the question. But if you will use this bot in, in a group, in a public group or private group with several people, all these members of this group could see the answers of the bot. So you could add this bot, I don't know, to your community public group in Telegram, and just ask questions with mention of this bot, and everyone could see the answer and answers of this bot, and learn from it or maybe correct it.
Sounds so cool. I think we can also try to add a description of our community meetings. I saw that CNCF done automatically recognition of all what is said here. So I think it also might be useful just to mention that this subject was described here.
Yeah, you know, you could always provide this bot with additional knowledge by including, I don't know, these transcripts or any additional information to your repository in GitHub. So, and bot will become smarter.
Yeah, just put things in the docs. And if it's not worth adding in the docs, then maybe it's too early to add it to the bot. So we discussed that, like if we are discussing some proposals, ideas on this meeting, we should not let the bot think that it's already done, or it will just well think that it's done already and then confuse users.
Yeah.
So come on, you've got the link. Use it. Ask something right now.
Thank you. And if you have any questions to Alexander, you can ask them right now.
Also, I forgot to mention that it also support it primarily, you know, like the primary language of this bot is English, but also you could ask questions in Russian, and he will automatically translate it to English and answer you with English. So it's also possible.
Yeah, one question from my side. So would the bot be able to learn from community chat history? So, you know, we have two of them.
I just asked that question.
I thought it wasn't answered completely clear. So the author was talking about the chat history in private messages. And what about the chat history that is in our community chat? So it has a long-lasting history, like about a year. Would it be able to parse all that and make some knowledge of it?
You know, it's possible. It's possible because I know that you could, you know, like download all the history in public groups. So we could just download this history and save it to, I don't know, MD or TXT format and include it in one of the directories in GitHub repository, and it will automatically parse it. So it's not a problem, but you know, it's always you know, a consideration of value, because sometimes, as Nick mentioned, you know, like it could be different opinions. It could be maybe, you know, like some opinion and not the fact, and bot will you know, like use it as a fact and answer to you as a fact, but it's not a fact, but an opinion, or maybe it's an outdated information. It's also a problem that in the chat it may be already outdated.
Yeah, and one more funny thing, it can answer. It takes some context from Holy Wars or something.
Yeah, of course.
That would be fun.
It will definitely take some Holy Wars, of course, from the history. Yeah.
Okay, folks, let's go forward. We have so many topics to discuss. If you have any questions to Alexander, please ask him directly. And I'm going to share this back. And Zdenek, do you have better microphone or better connection? Can we hear you now?
Yes, I think now it will work.
Awesome, awesome. So please introduce your subject.
We have been thinking about how to add new applications to Cozystack. Basically, we have an application platform. We want to run like client Kubernetes clusters application under Cozystack and install Cozystack on top of that. And we want to like extend or maybe like reuse the system which Cozystack has for install the applications, because we have a nice collection of operators, for example, for databases, ATC. So, and we would like to leverage on that and use the existing system to install new applications we bring to the Cozystack, because we are now working on adding like AI-related stack, which is helping like developers to develop AI applications. For example, NAN or some vector databases, and maybe some supportive frameworks for agent, and maybe Ollama if you want to run your local models with the GPU. So it would be very useful if we could have a way how to plug into existing Cozystack system and to bring our own application stack. So it's compatible with the Flux release like workflows, able to reuse existing operators, and maybe also the Cube Apps front end. So basically, these new applications came natively as soon as you install them, and they feel natively like the rest of the Cozystack applications. Also, one of our requirements was like, or ideas was to maybe, because this is a very like opinionated application stack, and maybe we will not be able to maintain like entry quality as all the rest of the stuff, like the operators and so on. So maybe this could be like an universal pluggable architecture that you can just basically enable and co-install it to the Cozystack, like one of the bundles. And maybe this could be like just plugged in and installed also with its own independent web server serving its own Helm repository, and make it like pluggable easily. And also it could serve as a nice like how to say like template to add another distributions of applications, maybe open source ones, and maybe also closed source when, for example, an organization who wants to like add their own applications for the users. So could use this as a way how to bring their applications to the Cozystack easily, leveraging the existing infrastructure. So this is basically it, and we will try to start implementing something in this way. So we have some kind of like minimum viable product and can show it to the other users.
Sounds very interesting. Thank you. A few points about that. We had the plans to separate Cozystack, to decompose it. Actually, all the applications you're having here, we want to make them pluggable, but not all together, but divide them by group. For example, we are about to create a pluggable bundle configuration. That means that Cozystack itself, it will be shipped totally empty. And in case if you want to enable some applications in this dashboard and our API, it will be possible to add additional repositories. For now, every repository is just installer script and HTTP server, which serves Helm charts repositories, and also platform configuration. So I think that some parts can be decomposed and moved to another repositories. For example, we can keep Cozystack as clean repository with nothing. There will be just Cozystack API, Cozystack controller, and Cozystack UI, and separate repositories for every different application stack. In my thought, that should allow you to have separate releasing process if you say that you want to develop that faster than we have releases. And that would also enable users to provide their own bundles. I can make a short demo to describe how exactly it works. This system we're having right now, it's fully based on FluxCD. So we have pod in Cozy system. This pod is serving HTTP server for FluxCD, and we have Helm repositories. Repo. Yeah, we have Helm repositories, one for applications, one for extra, and one for system applications. All of them are served by this exactly one container. So I think it might be easier to extend the Cozystack by providing such opportunity to run your own HTTP server with prepared Helm charts and enable it in Cozystack by adding this Helm repository resource. It can also be possible to use external source. So, but I would rather to keep it as is because of air gap environments. And I think this configuration should be done by existing container inside of the system. So that's an idea. We can have separate repositories, the default ones like system, and the rest can be split to multiple different repositories, like for infrastructure as a service, which will include Kubernetes and virtual machines. We can create bus repository, which will, or the bus repository, which will include Redis, Postgres, MySQL, and things like so. And also maybe some third-party repositories, which will include components you exactly need. Any community ideas from that? About that?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and how to edit, and I especially like the way it's like separated HTTP server and separated container, because this way it can be really like integrated, and also if you break some packages or some changes in the extra repository, it doesn't break the basic system. So it's very good idea to make it as a separate with HTTP server, so it's static and present on the system while not breaking the system-wide changes.
Yeah, well, the only thing we need to mention here that we still need to have system charts distributed the same way. For example, we have some components which are lessly coupled. That means that we can shape separate user application charts like MySQL and Postgres, but we don't shape Postgres and MySQL operator in such way. So I think the bundle is completely add-on for Cozystack, which shapes system components like Postgres operator and MySQL operator, and also user-faced applications for that. So the main value of Cozystack is providing ready configuration, and we need to think what exactly we can decompose right here, right now. I think we can consider some infrastructure stack like KubeVirt and all the applications dependent on KubeVirt. We can also have different bundles later for VMware, for public clouds, for example. But I think we can decompose the KubeVirt, Kubernetes as a service, virtual machines based on KubeVirt. And also we can decompose and move out things like Postgres operator, Rabbit operator, Redis operator, and all of these things out of the main repository, and just to make them pluggable.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I've been thinking about the same. So if I add like the custom application repository, it should have for one, the applications themselves, and for the second, its own system directory, which can distribute the operators. So basically this way, it would be the best. And yes, existing Cozystack has it kind of like shared into one system. Even the databases, it would be when you decompose, for example, the databases, it would be good to move the operators into its own like databases system-wide, which will install all the operators.
Yeah, I just thought that it might be useful in case if you want to have better isolation, so you can create the hardware Cozystack just with Kubernetes and virtual machines, but enable like Cozystack inside of Cozystack, which will provision database as a service. That also will enable and unlock this opportunity to run databases inside of the tenant clusters. So what would be preparation steps for doing that? I think first we need to create design doc, how it should be done, and what exactly we move. We can prepare different phases. Nick just created a specific repository just for that. It was here. We'll move it to the top. So this repository is needed for describing the Cozystack enhancement proposals. there is a template. Oh, we have no template yet. Am I right, Nick?
Yeah, I'll add a template. Here's just the basic guidance how to do that.
Okay, I'll show that KubeVirt design proposals. They manage their project exactly the same way. So anytime when you implement some came with an idea what should be done in Cozystack, we expect to create such a document when you can describe goals, non-goals, and implementation phases for this feature. You don't have to do that by alone. Just start creating this small document with definition, and we'll come back. We'll invite community to discuss this enhancement proposal, and also we'll provide some ideas in this design proposal. Please feel free to send design proposal. I saw you already have some doc. You can post it as is into our community repository, and I think we will start moving to implementation of this. Also had a roadmap, and we have in roadmap we have this for 2026 year for Q1. But if you're feeling that you're highly demanded on this feature, we can start from the community effort.
Yes, so thanks. I will for the repository. I will make the proposal, and basically we will like start implementing some MVP, so we can have some working demo of this and really start deploying applications. And also, as you mentioned, Cozystack on Cozystack. So has it been already tried? In some instance that you install Cozystack into the client's tenant Kubernetes cluster?
Well, we have some experience with that. There might be some issues with running Kubernetes in Kubernetes in case if you want to run Kubernetes inside of virtualized Cozystack because of anti-spoofing protection. They usually expect that you have when you create virtual machine in Cozystack, it usually stick to use only specific MAC address and the IP address. And then there is no way to use virtual IP address yet. There is an opportunity to disable this anti-spoofing protection, but the basic stuff like creation of databases should work with no troubles.
Yes, that's my point, and no need to like bring another Kubernetes cluster there. Just the basic application stack and the new applications we bring to it. So that will be, I think, the point of the MVP, to have this working under the tenant Kubernetes cluster and ability to deploy applications from customer repository.
I think we can split this implementation to a few phases. From my perspective, I can see that first we need to create separated repository which can be simply installed in existing Cozystack system by simply applying YAML manifest. They're exactly the same way like we have with our installer. It should be able to run its own container which serves HTTP server and have similar structure. The phase 2 could be to teach Cozystack reading Helm charts and configure from this container. That's actually it. We can move this discussion to the proposal. And thank you for your input. Any other ideas and questions regarding this?
Maybe somebody other has. I'm happy. Thanks.
Thank you too. I would also ask if you're considering to use Cozystack, not exactly you, but I would like to ask everyone here on this call, if you're considering to use Cozystack more like framework, or if you see it as final product or platform, which you can just install and start using quickly. I think we can create a voting and post it into our channel. So we have no community input yet. Okay, let's switch to the state of RAM support. I know Nikita is working on that. There were some ready pull requests. Nikita, could you please share information about the phase of RAM support?
Mm-hmm. It is named something like multi-arch or something, cross-arch builds.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. So for now, I've updated all Docker files and make files that exist in Cozystack repository. So now they all support building in both AMD 64 and ARM 64. Only thing left is installer. That's a bit complicated stuff. But I am planning on delivering it maybe this week. Yeah, you can see that I've updated like make files and some Docker files to support different architectures. That
So
seems
cool.
like a big change, but it's repeats itself.
Yeah, so we can provide you some testing environment with RAM, so you can test if it works.
Mm-hmm.
The only question for now, if we will merge it, won't it break our AMD 64 support, or it's better to wait until the next release?
I've tested that Docker images are building successfully in both architectures, and actually by default, the platform on which Docker images are built is defined by your Docker builder. And if you use a default one, it's most probably an AMD 64, and so nothing will change if you use it. If you have two builders, it will after detect that it has two architectures available, and it will just build multi-arch images, and they have same digest, both of them. So it could only take some more space in the repository and should not break anything.
Nice job, thank you. And what's wrong with building installer image? I think it is pretty similar.
Yeah, I just separated it in this in another pull request because of Talos, because it has some parts of Talos to build, and I am just working in a different pull request on that. So it will be a lot different from these ones.
You mean building Talos Linux image? I think you can keep it for now because we should support official Talos Linux images, and at the phase one we can just build all our images which we have in RM, except the Talos Linux itself. I think we can skip.
It will work just now, so all images are available to be built. And regarding Talos, it's almost done, so I don't think like it will take much time to complete it. So I think I'll push it like tomorrow or something.
Awesome, thank you. Cozystack Summer Hackathon. I guess that Timur was the right person who wanted to talk about it.
Maybe yes. It is an idea to make summer hackathon. We could choose some topic for this hackathon, and we'll try to implement some important but maybe not critical features that our maintainers couldn't do now or till this hackathon. I think it might be something about AI tools or something about other tools, or maybe something about network or
Okay, so if you have any ideas for the topics to this hackathon, we can put them here and consider them later when we will create it. So there is an idea from official team, developers team, to create some kind of hackathon to implement some features in Cozystack and provide you gifts in afterwards. So we think that might be a good solution to stimulate a community making more contributions. There were one attempt with Hacktoberfest, and that is usual practice in Google of Summer of Code. Unfortunately, we have no time to apply for this Google Summer of Code, so we're considering to do something similar from our side. The topics could be very different. I think RAM, for example, could also be a topic to discuss, and Cozystack decomposition. I would also put something like creating migrating to Go.
Would be nice.
Yeah, we can also consider moving our beautiful shell scripts to Union and unified Go building system. And moreover, not only building, but also serving. For example, you can replace 100 lines bash script with nice Go binary. And that could be also good start to use Cozystack as a framework to building and providing your own bundles.
CNCF could support us with their event team. They could provide us with some online tools with marketing, logistic, and something like that. We could use it as a CNCF Sandbox project. And also, I think this hackathon could be useful for attracting many people from whole world to contribution in Cozystack, and maybe contribution in using Cozystack. I think it will help with moving Cozystack from Sandbox to incubated status too.
Incubated.
This is way for new world order.
Yeah, and I think that it also might be interesting opportunity to some students to show if they contributing open source. Right now, it should be very easy to contribute to Cozystack, and this contribution will be mentioned on your own GitHub page. So that might be one of the benefits. That's it.
And we will make some cool merch for contributors.
Yeah, definitely. We will do some merch, maybe some additional options, like you will be possible to, we can add you to Cozystack organization. So if you have some available contributions, we can add you to, or regular contributions, we can add you to Cozystack organization, and you'll be participate as any other members of these organizations, make decisions and stuff like that. Okay, thank you, Timur. There is also an idea to remove distro-hosted bundle. First, I would like to ask if you know anybody who is using it, or if we have any purpose for having this distro full bundle, and we want to implement EAS full bundle. That could be one of the first steps to moving to decomposition. I can maybe put few words about the bundles, of idea of every bundle. So we have pass bundles, which provide the full system we're having right now in the dashboard. But somebody wants to use Cozystack as distribution, as Kubernetes distribution, and we have two bundles for them. We have distro-full, which provides you fully functional Kubernetes for running on-prem. It includes LinStore as storage, networking as Cilium. It does not include KubeOVN, for example. And you can also enable some components optionally. For example, operators. And distro-hosted bundle includes almost nothing. It just includes basic Cozystack core components, and all of the rest components are optional. I think that distro-hosted bundle can be used as base for our next building system. When we have just one Cozystack installed without other operators. That's actually it. Any thoughts?
I think the distro-hosted is ideal candidate for our Cozystack on Cozystack, right?
Yeah, that might be useful. The only thing, if it's distro, it usually means that it's considered to use as distro. So it can provide you some operators, but not interface, not API, and not UI for them for those operators. So it is more likely using distribution, not in multi-tenant system. All right, let's switch to the next topic then. FerretDB just released 2.2, and there are a lot of improvements. Unfortunately, we still use FerretDB, the first version. I would like to ask if somebody interested in testing new functionality and trying to update FerretDB. I can remember that FerretDB is free MongoDB alternative, which provides you MongoDB compatible interface based on Postgres. I guess it will change some logic of deploying. So now it looks like Postgres extension, and we need the help with updating this FerretDB to newer version. Anyway, if you're interested, please tag me in our community chat or write in our community channels. Enhancement proposals we already discussed. Cozystack API demo and explanations. On the last topic we have for now, we have many questions about how to use Cozystack API and how it looks like. I just wanted to mention that we have described that in our documentation. Cozystack introduced its own kinds in Kubernetes. They're all served by our own API server, and you can work with them pretty similar like you work with any resource in Kubernetes. So you can use kubectl command to get Postgres. That usually means that you can actually create any resource you want to in your cluster with the configuration you need to, and then you can use normal kubectl to see how it looks like in the API. So I just created ClickHouse cluster. And now we can see how it looks like in our API. So you can take this resource. I'm sorry. You can create this resource, change this a little bit. And that way, replicate it to another resources. That also will be shown in our dashboard. The dashboard here. So those resources can be, you can use kubectl, you can use Helm, you can use even Terraform. For using Terraform, interacting with Cozystack API, you can create, you can use ordinary provider Kubernetes and specify resources exactly the same way. And then just run Terraform plan, Terraform apply, and those resources will be created. That's a short introduction to Cozystack API. And we also have 5 minutes left to discuss Gateway API. Zdenek, you just say that you're working on Gateway API implementation. Could you please share what the state is?
Yes, so thanks. I've presented a patch, simply adding into a system directory and gateway API CRDs, and also there is adding those CRDs in the tenant Kubernetes cluster. So basically, I'm focusing on there, not on the main cluster itself. So as Cilium requires to install these CRDs before it's set up. So basically, this will install all the CRDs. And also, I have added parameters to enable the gateway on the install. So when you create the tenant Kubernetes cluster, it will basically enable the gateway API, and also it enables the sidecar which is needed there. So at now the current status is the gateway API gets successfully installed, enabled, and enables to deploy the resources. And resources are also deployed into underlying controller cluster. But for now, there are some issues with the mappings. The load balancer gets provisioned, but it's not functional. So basically, I'm working on a new setting up new clusters, which are based on 0.35 and only dispatch. And I'm trying to right now debug why it's not working exactly as it should. But by the way, or overall, it looks to deploy well. It looks to work well. It looks to deploy the load balancer. Just it doesn't properly work on the underlying cluster. So we will have to debug that. And basically, this is the status. So in the coming days, I will be trying to debug and put more information what we need to do. But after that, I think we have stable implementation of the Gateway API in the tenant Kubernetes clusters.
Sounds very interesting. Thank you. If somebody would like to test this functionality, please do that and make report to our community channels or GitHub issues. We will replicate, I think we will replicate this Gateway API in a while for management cluster as well. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. So probably we will release the next release tomorrow or already on the next week. I think in tomorrow we will have new release candidate, and we will finish performing the final release until the next week. It will include a lot of new features. It will include reconciliation for user applications, additional reconciliation controller, and probably it will include air gap and few other options. So keep updated and see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, Andrei. Have you some minutes?
Yeah, I have.
I have small work on my solution for E2E, and I'd like to show you what I already done.
Yes, please free to do that. It might be better to do that on a community meeting, but let's start from that.
Sorry.
Is it okay if I stay?
Yeah,
I
sure.
would like to.
Everybody can stay.
On previous meeting, I proposed use bats, but it's not good idea because bats have some troubles with stacking in setup steps, and I think better use makefile for this purpose, because makefile can be pretty convenient in some simple steps like this or this, and you can manage files in makefile, so like this config. I have some improvements, and I want to know, what do you think about makefile for E2E purpose?
You just explored the magic of makefiles. That's awesome. I was feeling the same when I saw makefile the first time. But to be honest, it might be not a good idea to put the difficult constructions into makefile itself. It's usually better to use makefile as entry point to calling the scripts and to store the scripts which actually do the rest of the logic. That's in my opinion.
You think better use some another language for this, like some Python, yeah?
I prefer Bash or Go. We almost have no any other parts from Python. It might be difficult to extend with a new language. I would rather keep using Bash or Golang for testing purposes.
Golang have some troubles with connection to Taos. In Go client library, misconfigured this certificate. You can't, or maybe I have some troubles.
Yeah, this is weird because you can just use Talos CTL command, the library of Talos itself. You can use Talos client in Go and send all the commands through it. But I'm not saying that you have to implement this logic in Go exactly. We just need to have some framework which will be convenient to write simple commands to test. I think it could be a shell script. I think shell script would be nice because it can be easily written and readable, just in case if you want to write a bunch of commands. So I think for testing purposes, it might be better to start from shell. We can cover it with Go. There is some convenient option. This cmd run command in Go library, so you can just call external libraries, external binaries to do some stuff. But I think it's better to start with simple shell script stored in some chart, which we want to test, and to start using it with make test command. So anytime when you want to test something, you can go to, for example, if you want to test if user applications, if Postgres is deployed correctly, you can go to the packages, apps, Postgres, run make apply to create the Postgres itself, and run make test to run the test. We can also consider using Helm testing framework because it allows you to run the testing suite right inside of the Kubernetes and provide you output what exactly done. That will not be working for everything, but when you have Kubernetes API, you can actually run anything you want to. So my idea is using Helm tests or shell scripts running locally and Makefile as entry point.
I have some investigation for test flows, and my main design is you have some setup, you run the test, and you tear down your resources, or you can change sequence of this steps.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
tear down firstly, set up, and go through test. What
got
they
it.
can-
That makes sense. That also can be scripted, but you also mentioned this framework bets. I think it should be done. It should be working. I was just I have no experience working with that. I would help you with testing it because that's a new tool. If you could show what exactly is not working with bets, I would rather to check if it's if I can help you somehow.
Okay, next session I propose the demo what go not correct.
You can create draft pull requests. In Cozystack, it doesn't have to work. You can just create draft pull request, what you just put, what you just wrote in your repository, some shell script, or we can start working together on this. That might be easier to wait up to 2 weeks to the next community meeting.
Okay, got you.
So if you have some examples, just commit them and we will try it from our side and we will help you if something is not working.
Okay, understood. You think better make some script with bash or bash, but not prepare for test in Makefile, yeah?
Yeah, I think Makefile should be only entry point to running these scripts. If it's quite long, for example, like you specify it right here, it might be better to move some parts to separate scripts and call them from Makefile. There might be other opportunities, like it's still possible to write shell script with multiple functions and use them as an argument to call and start specific logic. So you can start not from the beginning, but from the end, for example.
I have read some code style for bash at Google, and they recommend do not use bash for long scripts. Use another language. I
Yeah.
think I think it's good point, and you think maybe too.
That depends if you're using it for writing tests. I think if you're writing tests, the comments usually looks like do some stuff, and they usually don't require passing many arguments. So I think for tests it's slightly different, but I would say the same thing. Don't use Makefile for write all of this logic. It's too complicated to supporting it later.
Okay, understood. So that's all what I would like to say. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your attention.
Thank you. Just prepare a pull request and maybe write that if I can help you something with that.
I
somehow.
think we can make together the bets stack on starting VMs in loop and nothing go.
Yeah,
just
let's take
stack.
a look. Let's take a look. I just
Yeah.
need to see what is written there.
Okay, I make prepare some PR, and thank you.
Thank you too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.